So in terms of the cleaning and maintenance of your property, again, a big area that we get asked a lot of questions on this, particularly people that are looking to buy a property of, what will the cost be and stuff like that. So let's try and break it down if we can, Sally. Firstly, are landlords expected to do it themselves?
No.
They
some do. Some like to do it themselves. On the whole, though, in each location we do have a cleaning team set up. They'll take care of all of that. What's good about having the cleaning teams as well is if something happens within the property whilst the guest is in, and say for instance it's over in Hull, we have a team on the ground and they are fantastic. We work really closely with them. They are so good, they will go out to the property and check on things, because a lot of the time if it is a maintenance issue with heaters especially, it's 9 times out of 10 going to be user error, even though we give them all videos on how to use it. So what we like to do is tend to send like one of our cleaning team in to check on that. But no, they'll do it all. They have a login to our portal where they can see what bookings are coming in for their locations. Any sort of last minute ones, we have a WhatsApp group. You wouldn't believe how many WhatsApp groups I'm in. But we'll post them in there so nothing gets missed that way, but they will. Because
it sounds pretty obvious, but obviously every booking there's a checkout clean, isn't there, before someone moves in.
Else goes
in terms of costing, Sally, of that, how does that look?
So with the costing, it can get a little confusing, but I'm going to try and break it down as best I can. So with our cleaning teams, if it's a new property, they'll go in and they'll obviously give us a quote for like a standard clean. If it's a booking from our website, booking.com, Airbnb, any portal booking, they will automatically have an end of stay clean added to it.
Which the guest
will pay for that. If it's a relocation booking, if it's a longer booking, things like that, they will initially pay for their first clean. Any mid stays will then come under the owner's cost, but we tend to try and include them in the pricing that we hand over to the relos.
And it varies, doesn't it? So like on a relocation booking, it might be for 3 months, let's say, with it. There'll be certain guests that might want it done every week. There'll be certain guests that say, no, I'll have it as less as possible. And we'll chat with you as the owner with it, because it's your property then. You might go, no, look, I insist, even though it's my cost, I want it checked and cleaned every week, even on the long bookings.
Because that's why we do offer that mid-stay clean, because obviously, somebody could book for 3 months. And like with anything, with any tenancy, you get someone move in on that first day. If you're not having eyes on that property, you don't know what's going to happen at the end. Whereas if we try and organise a weekly clean or a fortnightly clean, it gives us a chance to go in, our cleaning teams, they'll report back any maintenance issues that they found that a guest might not necessarily call up about, and it just makes sure we maintain the property the best that we can do until that end of stay clean.
And it really helps with repairs as well, because it means we can spot stuff early.
Yes.
If you have got a loose screw that's getting worse and worse, spotting that early on, there's less cost involved, isn't it, than the whole table collapsing. It could have been spotted early on with it.
And that's why we like to keep eyes on the property as well, because you don't know what's going on in there.
And what sort of costs are we looking at? I mean, again, I know it varies between different locations, different housekeeping teams on it, but to give people an idea of the kind of average at the moment.
So I would say for a 1-bedroom, I know that it's easy to do on a 1-bedroom, because we do, that's what we have the most of. You're looking between £100 and £130. But what I will say is a lot of the time we do get landlords saying, well, I have a cleaner at home and they do an hour for 25. What these cleans are is a deep clean. They'll clean the oven, they'll clean the fridge out, they'll clean all the cupboards out. It is, and it's also the linen that they provide, so they have to do the laundry of the linen, it's the changeover, but things like that.
They're also on standby with it, because I've heard that as well, where people do mention that, I could get someone thing. But those types of cleaners tend to be booked in if they know they're going every week at this day. Whereas with this, the guest can check out on a Tuesday, the next week it could be a Wednesday. And like you said before, our housekeeping teams have access to our booking portals, so they can see when people are going to be checking out. They know when they're going to be there with it. It's so crucial, and you can't always get that.
You can't always get that. And then again, with the cleaning teams, they have a team behind them, so that if something happens with your property or a guest needs assistance that we can't necessarily get there within a decent amount of time, they will go, and they know your properties like the back of their hand. They clean them week in, week out. They know how everything works. They know how everything should be. So it is crucial that they go in.
And it's so important. One of the big things we mention is how important reviews are on a property. And I would say the most common negative review you could get is the state of the property. If it's clean and stuff like that, they've spotted something. So, we really assess the performance of our housekeeping teams, don't we? And they do a great job, but, understandably, we keep an eye on that type of thing and look at reviews
and you
speak
have
with
to,
them.
And they're really good. Like we have all these WhatsApp groups with all the different cleaning companies. Each location has a group, and they'll post stuff in there if something needs an extra clean, anything like that. Then they'll put it in. If your carpets are looking a little bit shabby, they'll book in that carpet clean. They'll do all that for you.
And being good with guests, because we've all been on holiday and you get chatting to bar staff, people like that. That adds to your experience, doesn't it? A lot of the time you go back and go, well, the bar staff are a bit rude, or I'll go back to the hotel. So again, we want our housekeeping team to be friendly and be nice with guests when they meet them. If you just add that little bit in, get to know them where they can. It might be that the company that's staying, they might find out something like that. Let us know, which helps them get more bookings. So it can't be underestimated how important the cleaning things is.
They're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. And in terms of sort of maintenance on the property of it, again, how does that sort of look? What can landlords typically expect to be looked after?
So we'll look after all maintenance. Unless you state otherwise, we'll do the lot. What we tend to do, is if it's like a little bit, it's not a big maintenance job. If there's just something that needs like a fuse that needs replacing, little jobs, we'll just go ahead and get them sorted, and then we'll provide you with an invoice. But if it's anything bigger, I tend to work off £100. If it's over £100, I'll always go to the owner and just double check. If it is a bigger job, we tend to get a couple of people in to quote, so we know that we're in the ballpark area of it being a normal price, things like that. But
it's where we can help again, isn't it? It might be, let's say, I don't know, a new fridge, for instance, is being delivered. We can again help with that in terms of delivery. We appreciate everyone's busy and might have a 9 to 5 job. Look, we use us on that. We can help them.
We'll order that. If you want to order it yourselves, you can. But we can, if we just coordinate when that's going to be delivered, we can ensure that there will be someone there for you. To have that delivered.
But like you say, there'll be people out there probably that are maybe in trades or have got friends in trades that go, and that could be an area you could save money on. Absolutely fine. There's no kind of set thing. You can work with us on that, and it goes back to that initial onboarding call. They're the sort of questions we would ask on that.
And we'd get to know you, and if we have a lot of people who are plumbers themselves and they're local to the area that they've bought in, and if there's an issue like that, we'll just give them a call. If they're busy or if they're on holiday, then you can instruct us then on, no, you take over. It's not a one size fits all. We're happy to be quite flexible on it.
That's it. So the cleaning side of it can be a little bit complex, as you say. It really does vary in a lot of things, but look, that's the sort of thing to get in touch with. You can have a detailed chat with it, but a lot of the time on it, as we've mentioned, it might be the guest that's paying the cleans, or it might not be as much as you think. It sounds quite a lot, £100, £110 per clean, but when you break it down, a lot of time it won't actually be you paying for it. So worth asking more on those sort of ones. So hopefully you found that really interesting. If you do have any other questions that pop up, please do get in touch with a member of the team here at Guestz.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.